China has two faces. One smiles for cameras. The other doesn't care if anyone's looking. There's a bridge where people freeze halfway across, not from fear of heights, from the realization that there's literally nothing between them and a 460-foot drop except glass. They can see straight through. There's a cave where boats float on water that's never seen daylight. 5 million years of darkness. The silence down there isn't just quiet. It's the kind of silence that makes your ears ring because your brain can't process absolute nothing. There's a volcanic lake where the top is ice and the bottom is heated by the same forces that create earthquakes. Walk on the frozen surface. Feel warmth rising from below. Your feet are in two different seasons at the same time. There's a waterfall that froze mid-fall, just stopped, like someone hit pause on the entire thing. Except the water's still moving underneath the ice, which means it froze while flowing, and somehow both things are still happening. The old Chinese who found these spots first didn't have words for what they felt standing there. So they used the closest thing they had, heaven touching earth. Because that's what it feels like when reality stops making complete sense. Ruyi Bridge doesn't look real even when you're standing on it. The structure curves through the air in 3 smooth waves. Golden rails tracing a path 460 feet above the canyon floor. Glass panels make up the walkway, not the kind with railings on both sides making you feel safe. The kind where one wrong step and your brain screams that you're about to fall through empty space into mist and trees far below. Built in 2020 in Zhejiang province, the bridge spans 328 feet between cliff faces. Engineers use steel and reinforced glass, but the design hides all that. What you see is a golden curve floating in air with nothing underneath. Walk to the middle and look down. The glass is so clear it might as well not be there. Just your feet, then nothing, then a valley disappearing into clouds. Weather changes everything here. Clear days make the bridge vanish. The glass reflects blue sky so perfectly that people on the far end look like they're walking on light. Fog turns the world white. Only the golden rails stay visible, cutting through emptiness like someone drew a line through heaven. After rain, every water drop becomes a tiny prism, scattering light until the whole bridge sparkles like it's covered in diamonds. The canyon surrounds you on all sides, jagged peaks covered in forest, trees shifting from dark green to burning orange depending on the season. Old temples perch on distant cliff edges, stone buildings that have been there for centuries, built by monks who wanted to live as far from other humans as possible. The bridge connects these ancient peaks with modern engineering, metal and glass meeting stone and prayer. People make wishes here now. Couples hold hands while crossing, believing it grants them luck. Others come at sunrise, thinking the light and height will clear their minds. Maybe wishes work here. Maybe they don't. But when you're suspended that high with nothing but glass between you and the fall, believing in something feels better than believing in nothing. Qianshan Mountain has 999 peaks, not approximately, exactly 999. They cluster together like flower petals made of stone, each one carved by weather and time into its own unique shape. The highest reaches 2,136 feet, but that number doesn't matter. What matters is how they look when morning mist fills the valleys and only the peaks remain visible. Floating like islands in a white ocean. Granite formed these mountains millions of years ago, pushed up from deep underground by forces strong enough to crack continents. Then the wind and rain went to work, slowly, patiently, carving arches and balanced rocks and formations that look like they should topple, but never do. Some peaks have natural tunnels running straight through them. Others feature rocks balanced on points so narrow you could wrap your hand around them, yet they've stood like that for thousands of years. Buddhist monks arrived 1,400 years ago and decided this was holy ground. They built over 20 temples on these peaks, not in the valleys where it's easy, on the peaks, clinging to cliff faces, tucked into caves. The biggest Wuliang temple dates to the Tang dynasty. Inside sits a bronze Buddha so massive it took decades to cast, its face still calm after watching centuries pass. Getting to these temples means climbing staircases cut directly into rock. No modern tools helped, just hand chisels and determination. Some steps are so steep you're basically climbing a ladder. Others wind around cliff edges where one side is solid mountain and the other side is empty air dropping hundreds of feet to the valley floor. The monks who built these paths weren't playing around. The forest changes as you climb. Lower down, thick trees create shade so deep it stays cool even in summer. Pine, oak, maple mixing together, turning the whole mountain into a fire of red and gold each autumn. Higher up, only the toughest shrubs survive, clinging to cracks in bare rock. Spring brings wildflowers that somehow bloom in stone, covering the mountainsides in pink and white like someone's spilled paint. Water runs through everything. Streams appear from cracks in the rock, fed by springs nobody can trace to their source. When storms hit, temporary waterfalls pour down cliff faces, cascading into mist before they reach the bottom. The sound never stops. Moving water creates a constant background that makes silence impossible. Old legends say immortals live among these peaks, hermits who ate nothing but pine needles and dew, meditating until they transcended normal human existence. Some stories claim you can still see them if you know when to look. Figures in white robes standing on impossible peaks at dawn, there one moment and gone the next. True or not, the stories fit the place. Qianshan doesn't feel entirely bound by normal rules. Benxi Water Cave holds one of the world's longest underground rivers that humans can actually navigate. The river flows 1.8 miles through passages carved from limestone over millions of years. This whole area used to be underwater, part of an ancient sea that covered what's now northern China. When tectonic shifts lifted the land, water didn't stop flowing. It just went underground, dissolving limestone one molecule at a time, until it created the massive tunnel system that exists today. Walking into the cave feels like entering a different planet. Darkness takes over immediately except where lights have been installed. The temperature drops to 50 degrees and stays there no matter what season it is outside. Sound behaves strangely. Some spots echo your voice back 5 or 6 times. Other areas swallow noise completely. Like the darkness is hungry for it, the underground river runs clear and cold, so clear you can see the rocky bottom even at 10 feet deep. Boats take visitors along this hidden waterway. Motors cut to almost nothing so the sound doesn't shatter the silence. Stalactites hang from the ceiling like frozen waterfalls, some reaching 30 feet long, dripping water that's been falling for thousands of years. Stalagmites rise from the floor, their surfaces rippled like melted wax, growing upward one drop at a time. Different chambers have different personalities. Some rooms tower 100 feet high with vaulted ceilings that make you feel like you're inside a stone cathedral. Mineral deposits coat the walls, glittering when light hits them. Other passages narrow until the boat barely fits. Rock walls close enough to touch on both sides, the ceiling low enough to make you duck. Life exists down here despite the darkness. Blind fish navigate using organs that sense pressure changes in the water. They've never seen light, don't need to. Special bacteria coat wet surfaces, creating their own energy through chemistry instead of photosynthesis. Cave crickets, with antennae longer than their bodies, feel their way across rocks. Hunting smaller insects in the permanent night, Local legend gives the cave a different origin story. A dragon supposedly carved these tunnels while escaping a massive storm thousands of years ago. The dragon lived here for centuries afterward, guarding a pearl of infinite wisdom hidden somewhere in the deepest chambers. Explorers have searched. Nobody's found any pearl. But the legend won't die, adding mythology to what geology already made mysterious. Changbai Mountain sits exactly on the border between China and North Korea. Its highest peak reaching 9,003 feet into thin air. The name translates to Ever-White Mountain because the upper slopes are covered in white pumice stone year-round, making it look permanently snow-capped even during summer heat. This isn't a dead mountain, it's an active volcano. The last major eruption happened in 1903. Violent enough to reshape the entire summit and create the massive crater lake that fills the top today. The mountain operates in zones. Start at the base and you're in mixed forest, where temperatures stay reasonable. Climb higher, and the trees shift to only pines and firs, species that handle cold better. Keep climbing past the tree line, and vegetation gives up entirely, except for tough grasses and low shrubs, built to survive brutal winds and temperatures that drop below freezing without warning. The summit is bare, just volcanic rock and ash and the occasional brave plant clinging to a crack. Rare animals make this mountain home despite the harsh conditions. Siberian tigers still hunt here, though so few remain that seeing one is more luck than anything else. Wild boar crash through undergrowth, sika deer browse at forest edges. Alert for predators. The mountain shelters armor leopards, one of the rarest big cats on Earth, with maybe 100 left in the wild. Birds range from woodpeckers drilling into lower forest trees to alpine species that build nests near the peaks where wind never stops blowing. The crater lake at the summit gets called Heaven Lake. The volcanic bowl holding it drops 1,260 feet deep. Water inside stays cold all year, fed by snowmelt and underground springs that never run dry. The lake covers 3.8 square miles and on calm days becomes a perfect mirror, reflecting surrounding peaks so clearly that the line between water and sky disappears completely. Winter transforms the entire mountain. Snow buries everything under thick white blankets. The lake freezes solid. Temperatures plunge to 40 below zero or worse. But even in these brutal conditions, hot springs bubble up from the volcanic heart beneath, creating steaming pools where snow melts in perfect circles. Stand near these springs in winter and you're in two seasons at once. Freezing air biting your face, steam warming your hands. The mountain doesn't care about making sense. Korean and Chinese legends both claim this mountain as sacred. Both say their ancestors were born here. The crater lake holds special weight in these stories. Believed to be the exact point where heaven and earth touch. Shamans used to climb here to perform rituals, believing the mountain spirits controlled weather and harvest. Some still do. Old beliefs don't die just because the world modernizes around them. Heaven Lake sits at 6,400 feet in Xinjiang, trapped between peaks that wear snow crowns every single day of the year. The lake stretches 11,000 feet long and 5,000 feet wide, filled with water so absurdly clear that sunlight penetrates more than 40 feet deep. The color shifts constantly, pale jade in morning light, deep turquoise at noon, almost black when clouds block the sun. It never looks the same twice. Ancient glaciers carved this lake. Massive sheets of ice moved down mountain valleys thousands of years ago. Grinding basins into solid rock with the patience only geological time allows. When the climate warmed and glaciers retreated, meltwater filled what they'd carved. The lake now reaches 344 feet deep in spots. Fed continuously by snow melting off peaks, the tower more than 16,400 feet overhead. Dense forests surround the lower elevations, spruce and fir trees with dark green branches that contrast sharply against bright water. The temperature never gets warm. Even in the middle of summer, it rarely tops 50 degrees. This keeps the lake remarkably clear since few organisms can survive water that cold. The purity is extreme, almost unnatural. Winter changes everything. The lake freezes completely solid. Ice reaches several feet thick, strong enough to support trucks driving across. the entire landscape becomes white and blue, frozen lake reflecting pale winter sky. Surrounding peaks buried under fresh snow. The silence during winter is different from summer silence, heavier, like the cold has weight. Ancient Chinese legends call this the Queen Mother of the West Bathing Pool. According to Taoist mythology, this powerful deity would descend from heaven to bathe in these pure waters, blessing them with eternal beauty. The story's been told for so long, it's woven into the cultural fabric of the region. Pilgrims still come, believing the water holds healing properties, or that standing on the shores brings spiritual clarity. Sunrise and sunset create the most dramatic moments. At dawn, first light hits eastern peaks, painting them orange and pink while the lake stays dark. For maybe 10 minutes before day fully begins, half the world glows while half remains in shadow. At dusk, it reverses. Golden light floods the water while mountains fall into purple darkness. Both moments feel stolen from somewhere else, too perfect to belong to normal reality. Jade Buddha Temple stands in the middle of Shanghai's urban chaos, an island of quiet in a city that never stops moving. The temple's famous for two Buddha statues carved from jade and brought from Burma in the 1880s. A monk named Huygen made the journey, searching for perfect jade to commission statues that would capture Buddhist teachings in physical form. The sitting Buddha measures 6.4 feet tall and weighs around 3 tons. Pure jade carved with precision that still looks impossible even knowing modern tools did it. The figure sits cross-legged in deep meditation, hands positioned in a teaching mudra, face showing absolute serenity. Every detail was carved to perfection, robes folding naturally, fingers curved exactly right, eyes half closed in contemplation. The reclining Buddha is smaller, 3.1 feet long, showing Buddha's peaceful passage into nirvana. Same flawless jade, same incredible craftsmanship. Both statues aren't just religious icons. They're masterpieces that would belong in any art museum on Earth. The temple complex itself was built specifically to house these jade treasures. Traditional Chinese architecture fills every corner, curved rooftops pointing skyward, intricate wooden carvings covering support beams. Peaceful courtyards arranged according to feng shui principles. Incense smoke drifts through halls, where monks chant in rhythms that haven't changed in centuries. Gardens provide spaces for quiet reflection, carefully arranged rocks and plants creating miniature landscapes. Temple legend says the location was chosen because of divine intervention. The story goes that a fisherman got lost at sea during a violent storm. He prayed desperately. The storm suddenly calmed and a glowing light appeared, guiding him safely to shore. The light led him to the exact spot where the temple now stands. Grateful for his life, he built a small shrine there. That shrine eventually became Jade Buddha Temple. Another tale speaks of hidden treasure within the temple walls. During wartime, a wealthy merchant supposedly hid gold and jewels in a secret chamber, trusting the Buddha statues to protect his fortune. The treasure has never been found. Locals say temple spirits guard it, ensuring it stays hidden until someone worthy comes along. The temple isn't a museum. It's an active center of Buddhist practice. Monks live here, study here, maintain traditions passed down through endless generations. Visitors can witness ceremonies, walk through gardens, light incense, or just sit in silence. In a city of 25 million people where noise never stops, this temple offers something increasingly rare: actual quiet. Hushan National Park marks where the Great Wall of China finally ends after stretching thousands of miles across the country. The park sits near Dandong in Liaoning Province, right on the border with North Korea. The wall here was built during the Ming Dynasty around the 1300s, constructed to defend against invasions from the north. The name Hushan means Tiger Mountain because the shape supposedly resembles a crouching tiger. The wall has been restored and now runs roughly 4,000 feet with 12 watchtowers, each one designed slightly differently. Walking these restored sections puts you where soldiers once stood guard, watching for enemies approaching from forests that haven't changed much in 700 years. What makes Hushan strange is its location. From certain points on the wall, you can see directly into North Korea. The Yalu River forms the border, and on clear days, North Korean villages are visible across the water. Farmland, houses, occasional people moving around. One of the world's most closed-off countries sits right there, close enough to see with binoculars. That proximity adds weight to an already historical location. The surrounding forest is beautiful in that effortless way nature does without trying. Dense trees covering hills that change dramatically with seasons. Spring brings explosive green growth and flowers. Summer deepens everything into dark, rich tones. Autumn sets the forest on fire with reds and golds. Winter strips the trees bare and adds snow, creating stark beauty. Local legends speak of secret tunnels and hidden rooms within the wall itself. Underground passages supposedly allowed troop movements or emergency escapes. Archaeological studies have found some small chambers, but nothing like the elaborate tunnel networks the stories describe. The mystery persists, because people want to believe the wall holds more secrets than it's revealed. The park also features natural hot springs that have been used therapeutically for over 1,000 years. The mineral-rich water emerges from underground, heated by geological processes, supposedly carrying healing properties. Visitors can soak in warm water while looking at mountains and forest, combining historical exploration with natural relaxation. Changshou King Mausoleum sits in Chongqing, a historical site built to honor a king whose name translates to long life. The structure dates back over 600 years to the Ming dynasty. Constructed as both tomb and memorial for a ruler who supposedly discovered the secret to longevity. According to legend, this king lived far longer than normal through some combination of diet, exercise, meditation, and possibly magic, depending on which version of the story you hear. Some say he found a special herb. Others claim he mastered Taoist breathing techniques. A few versions involve drinking dew collected from specific mountain peaks at dawn. Whatever the method, it worked well enough that people remembered him centuries after his death. The mausoleum complex covers significant ground, featuring traditional Chinese architecture from the Ming period. Stone pathways lead through carefully designed gardens. Halls contain statues, inscriptions, and artifacts related to the king's life and reign. The tomb itself sits at the center, marked by an imposing stone structure that has weathered 600 years remarkably well. What makes this place interesting isn't just the historical significance, it's the cultural weight it carries regarding Chinese attitudes toward longevity and health. The king became symbolic of the eternal human desire to live longer, to cheat death just a little bit more. His story gets repeated because it represents a hope that never dies. Visitors come for different reasons. Some are interested in Ming Dynasty history and architecture. Others want to pay respects to ancestors and cultural heritage. A few come seeking inspiration for their own health practices, believing that understanding the king's methods might offer modern benefits. The mausoleum serves all these purposes, functioning as museum, memorial, and symbol. Jingbo Lake stretches across volcanic terrain in Heilongjiang province. Created roughly 10,000 years ago, when volcanic eruptions dammed local rivers. The lake covers about 35 square miles, sitting at 1,150 feet elevation. Surrounded by forests and volcanic rock formations that give it a unique character. The water is remarkably clear for a lake this size. Sunlight penetrates deep, revealing underwater rock formations and vegetation. The lake's volcanic origin means the bottom is uneven, with sudden drops and underwater cliffs creating interesting diving conditions for those brave enough to explore. Dishuitan Waterfall marks the lake's most dramatic feature. Water pours over a volcanic rock ledge, dropping 66 feet into a pool below. During summer, when water levels are high, the waterfall becomes a massive curtain of white water. Winter transforms it into an ice sculpture, frozen mid-fall with icicles forming elaborate patterns. Local legend gives the waterfall a wish-granting reputation. The story goes that a kind-hearted girl once saved a wounded deer near the falls. In gratitude, the deer revealed that the waterfall's waters held magic, capable of granting wishes to those with pure intentions. The tale has persisted for generations, and people still come to make wishes, throwing coins into the pool, or simply standing in the spray. The lake supports diverse wildlife. Fish species thrive in the clear water. Birds nest along the shoreline and in surrounding forests. Larger animals visit to drink, especially during dawn and dusk, when fewer humans are around. The ecosystem has remained relatively intact despite increasing tourism. Traditional fishing methods are still practiced here. Local fishermen use techniques passed down through families. Understanding the lake's rhythms and fish behavior in ways that come from experience rather than textbooks. Watching them work provides insight into how humans and nature can coexist without one destroying the other. Daming Palace once served as the political heart of the Tang dynasty. One of the most powerful periods in Chinese history. Located in Xi'an, the palace complex covered an enormous area during its peak. Roughly 1.4 square miles, making it significantly larger than the Forbidden City that came centuries later. Construction began in 634 AD under Emperor Taizong. Though the palace wasn't fully completed until his successor took over. For over 200 years, this served as the primary residence for Tang emperors. The center from which one of history's greatest empires was governed. The architecture was deliberately grand. Massive halls designed to impress visiting dignitaries and remind everyone of imperial power. Throne rooms where emperors held court, private quarters for royal families, gardens designed according to complex principles, administrative buildings where government officials conducted the daily business of running an empire. All arranged according to careful planning that reflected Chinese cosmological beliefs. The palace declined along with the Tang dynasty. When the dynasty fell in 907 AD, the palace was abandoned. Over centuries, it was gradually buried under layers of earth, its structures collapsing and being covered, turning from architectural marvel to buried ruins. Modern archaeology has uncovered portions of the original palace. Excavations reveal foundation stones, underground chambers, and artifacts that provide glimpses into Tang dynasty life. Some sections have been reconstructed to show what the buildings originally looked like, though most remains underground, protected from further degradation. Walking through Daming Palace today means walking through layers of history. The Tang dynasty represents a high point of Chinese civilization. Art, poetry, trade, and military power all reached peaks during this period. The palace stood at the center of it all, housing the people who made decisions affecting millions. Its ruins carry that weight. Chagan Lake in Jilin province is one of China's largest freshwater lakes, covering roughly 155 square miles when full. The lake has been important to local communities for thousands of years, providing fish, water for irrigation, and transportation routes. What makes Chagan Lake culturally significant is the ancient winter fishing ritual practiced here. This tradition dates back over 1,000 years to the Liao dynasty. Every winter when the lake freezes solid, fishermen perform ceremonies before carving holes in thick ice to catch fish using traditional methods. The ritual begins with offerings to the lake spirits, prayers for a good catch, respect shown to the water that sustains life. Then the actual fishing begins. Fishermen use techniques passed down through generations, understanding ice thickness, fish behavior in winter, and how to work efficiently in brutal cold. The first catch of the season is ceremonially offered back to the lake. Expressing gratitude, what follows can be massive. Single catches sometimes bring in hundreds of thousands of pounds of fish, pulled from beneath ice several feet thick using nets and human labor rather than modern machinery. This winter fishing has become both cultural heritage and tourist attraction. Thousands gather to witness the ritual, watching fishermen work in conditions that would send most people running for warmth. The ceremony represents continuity with the past, a living tradition maintained despite modern alternatives. The lake itself changes dramatically with seasons. Summer sees it alive with activity. Boats crossing open water, birds feeding along shores. Autumn brings migrations as waterfowl stop here during journeys south. Winter transforms it into a vast frozen plain where the ice fishing ritual plays out under cold, clear skies. Taihang Mountains form a natural barrier over 250 miles long, separating the Shaanxi Plateau from the North China Plain. The range stretches through Hebei, Henan and Shaanxi provinces, with peaks reaching elevations above 9,900 feet. These mountains were formed by tectonic forces pushing rock upward millions of years ago, creating the dramatic cliffs and deep gorges visible today. The terrain is deliberately harsh, steep slopes covered in rock outcrops, deep valleys carved by rivers over geological time, cliffs that rise nearly vertical from valley floors. This landscape made crossing the mountains difficult for armies and travelers throughout Chinese history, turning the Taihang Range into a strategic barrier that shaped military campaigns and trade routes. Dense forests cover much of the range, supporting diverse plant and animal life. Lower elevations feature deciduous trees that create spectacular autumn displays. Higher up, conifers take over, better adapted to colder temperatures and harsher conditions. The forests shelter wildlife, including rare species of birds and mammals. One of the most remarkable human achievements in these mountains is the Red Flag Canal. Built during the 1960s, this engineering project carved a water channel along the side of the mountains, bringing water to drought-prone regions. Workers literally carved the canal by hand, chiseling through solid rock while suspended on ropes hundreds of feet above the ground. The canal runs over 60 miles, a testament to human determination. The Hanging Temple sits on a cliff near the Taihang Mountains, built over 100 years ago. The entire structure appears to float on the cliff face, supported by wooden beams inserted into holes drilled in the rock. How it was constructed remains partially mysterious. How it has survived earthquakes, weather, and time for 15 centuries seems even more impossible. Local legends fill these mountains. Stories of hermits achieving enlightenment in remote caves. Tales of bandits who use the difficult terrain to hide from authorities. Accounts of battles fought in narrow passes where small forces could hold off larger armies. The mountains have witnessed thousands of years of human history, while remaining fundamentally unchanged. The Temple of Confucius in Hufu, Shandong Province, stands as one of the largest and most important Confucian temples in China. Built on the site of Confucius's former residence, the temple was first constructed in 478 BC. Just 1 year after Confucius died. Over the following 2,500 years, the structure has been destroyed and rebuilt multiple times. Expanded and refined until it reached its current massive scale. The temple now covers about 40 acres, containing over 460 buildings. Walking through it means passing through multiple courtyards, each separated by ceremonial gates. The architecture follows classical Chinese design with curved roofs, red pillars, and intricate details carved into every surface. The scale is deliberately imposing, designed to honor Confucius's teachings and their importance to Chinese culture. The main hall, Dacheng Hall, serves as the temple's heart. Inside sits a large statue of Confucius, surrounded by altars and offerings. This is where major ceremonies are performed, where people come to pay respects to the philosopher whose ideas shaped Chinese civilization for over 2 millennia. The hall's proportions create an atmosphere of reverence, encouraging quiet contemplation. Stone steles fill the temple grounds, each one carved with inscriptions. Some record the achievements of scholars who studied Confucian teachings. Others preserve imperial edicts related to the temple's construction or renovation. Together they form a kind of physical library. Historical records preserved in stone because stone outlasts paper. Confucian philosophy emphasized education, moral behavior, respect for hierarchy, and the importance of ritual. These ideas influenced Chinese government, family structure, and social relationships for centuries. The temple serves as both memorial to Confucius himself and symbol of the broader cultural impact his teachings created. Annual ceremonies are held here, particularly on Confucius's birthday. These rituals follow ancient protocols, with participants dressed in traditional clothing, performing specific movements and recitations that have been standardized over centuries. The ceremonies aren't just historical reenactments, they're living traditions maintained by people who still find value in Confucian principles. Jilin City sits in northeastern China, along the Longhua River, famous for a winter phenomenon called rime ice. This occurs when water vapor from the river freezes onto trees and other surfaces, creating crystal formations that transform the landscape into something otherworldly. The conditions have to be exactly right. Cold air temperatures below freezing, warm water in the river from a nearby dam that prevents it from freezing completely. When these factors align, water vapor rises from the river and immediately freezes onto anything it touches. Trees become covered in thick layers of ice crystals that catch sunlight and sparkle like diamonds. The effect peaks in January and February when temperatures drop furthest below zero. Entire forests along the river turn white, branches so heavily coated with ice they bend under the weight. Sunlight hitting these frozen trees creates visual effects that photographs can't fully capture. Light fractures through ice crystals, scattering in every direction, turning the whole forest into a massive natural light show. Beyond the rime ice, Jilin City holds historical significance as an important center in northeastern China for centuries. The city has been a hub for trade, administration, and cultural exchange between different ethnic groups including Han Chinese, Manchu, and Korean populations. This diversity shows in local architecture, cuisine, and customs that blend influences from multiple traditions. The Longhua River itself is central to the city's character. During warmer months, it serves transportation and recreation purposes. In winter, it freezes solid enough to support ice festivals, where sculptors create massive structures from blocks cut from the river. The transformation from flowing water to solid ice platform demonstrates the extreme climate swings that define this region. Nearby forests support Siberian tigers, though sighting one requires extraordinary luck given how few remain. The forests also shelter other rare species adapted to harsh northeastern winters. Conservation efforts work to protect these habitats while managing the tension between preservation and human development. Dishuitan Waterfall in Guizhou Province has earned the poetic name Veil Cascade because of how its water falls. Rather than dropping in a single massive column, the water separates into thousands of individual streams that create a curtain effect, looking more like fabric than liquid. The waterfall drops about 410 feet down a travertine cliff face. Travertine forms when calcium carbonate in water deposit onto surfaces, gradually building up layers of porous rock. Over thousands of years, this process created the cliff and continues to shape it today, meaning the waterfall's appearance slowly changes as new deposits form and old sections erode. The veil effect comes from how water interacts with the uneven travertine surface. Instead of falling freely, water catches on countless small protrusions and ledges, breaking into separate streams that rejoin and separate again as they descend. Sunlight passing through this creates rainbow effects, particularly in late afternoon when the angle is right. Mist from the waterfall creates a constant rain in the surrounding area, supporting lush vegetation that grows right up to the water's edge. Ferns, mosses, and other moisture-loving plants thrive here, turning the area around the falls into a green microclimate distinct from the drier regions nearby. Local legend attributes the waterfall to a goddess who wept after losing her lover. Her tears created the cascade, and the veil-like appearance represents her mourning dress. The story has been told for so long, it's become inseparable from the place itself, adding romantic tragedy to natural beauty. Seasonal changes affect the waterfall dramatically. Summer rains increase water volume, making the veil thicker and more opaque. Winter can freeze sections of the falls, creating ice formations mixed with flowing water. Spring runoff from mountain snowmelt produces the highest flows, turning the gentle veil into a more aggressive curtain. This is Dafo Temple, located in Guangzhou City, Guangdong Province. Guangzhou has been one of China's most important port cities for over 2,000 years. As a gateway for maritime trade, religions and cultures from across Asia passed through this region. Buddhism arrived early, and Dafo Temple became one of the spiritual landmarks that grew alongside the city. The temple's origins date back to the Southern Han period, over 1,000 years ago. Like many ancient temples in China, it was rebuilt and restored multiple times due to fires, wars, and urban expansion. The structures seen today largely reflect later dynastic restorations, blending traditional southern Chinese architecture with the rhythms of a modern metropolis. Unlike the massive cliff-carved Buddhas of northern and western China, Dafo Temple in Guangzhou is known for its intimate scale and living atmosphere. Devotees come daily to burn incense, offer prayers, and seek blessings for health, family, and prosperity. The scent of incense drifting through the halls is a constant reminder that this temple is not a museum, but a living place of faith. For centuries, Dafo Temple has served merchants, sailors, and ordinary citizens, offering spiritual calm in a city defined by movement and trade. It reflects how Buddhism adapted to urban life in southern China. Quiet, resilient, and deeply woven into everyday routines. Today, Dafo Temple remains a rare pocket of stillness in Guangzhou, where ancient rituals continue just steps away from one of China's busiest modern cities. Jingde ancient town in Anhui province, has preserved its Ming and Qing dynasty character better than most ancient towns in China. Walking its stone streets feels like stepping back 400 years to when merchants traded goods. Craftsmen worked in small shops, and life moved at the pace of walking rather than driving. The architecture follows traditional Hui style, distinctive to this region of China. White walls with dark grey roofs, wooden beam construction with intricate carvings. Courtyards designed according to feng shui principles to create harmonious living spaces. Many of these buildings are still occupied, not as museums, but as actual homes and businesses, giving the town a living quality that reconstructed ancient towns often lack. Narrow alleys wind between buildings, some barely wide enough for two people to pass. These weren't designed for vehicles. They were made for foot traffic and perhaps the occasional hand cart. The stone paving has been worn smooth by centuries of footsteps, creating a texture that's impossible to fake with modern materials. The town sits beside a river that historically served as its economic lifeline. Goods arrived and departed by boat. The riverside developed into a bustling commercial area with warehouses, docks, and merchant houses. Some of these structures still stand, though their purposes have shifted from commerce to tourism. Traditional crafts continue here, practiced by artisans who learn from masters who learn from their masters going back generations. Wood carving, ink stick making, calligraphy. These aren't demonstrations for tourists. These are actual craftspeople maintaining skills that machine production has made economically obsolete, but culturally valuable. The town celebrates traditional festivals according to the lunar calendar, following customs that predate the modern Chinese state. These festivals bring the community together, reinforcing social bonds and cultural identity in ways that feel increasingly rare in rapidly modernizing China. Longhua Temple in Shanghai is the oldest and largest Buddhist temple in the city. With origins dating back over 1,700 years to the Three Kingdoms period. Despite Shanghai's transformation into a modern metropolis, the temple has maintained its traditional character, functioning as both historical site and active center of Buddhist practice. The temple's most distinctive feature is its pagoda, a 7-story octagonal structure that has become a Shanghai landmark. The current pagoda was built in 1594 during the Ming Dynasty, though earlier versions stood on the same spot for centuries before. The architecture follows classical Chinese pagoda design, with each level slightly smaller than the one below, creating a graceful, tapered profile. The temple complex includes 5 main halls arranged along a central axis. Visitors pass through each hall in sequence, encountering different aspects of Buddhist teachings and iconography. The main hall houses a golden Buddha statue, hands positioned in the meditation mudra, expression calm and eternal. What makes Longhua culturally significant beyond its age is its connection to Shanghai's Buddhist community. The temple runs educational programs, meditation sessions, and ceremonies that maintain living Buddhist traditions rather than simply preserving historical artifacts. Monks live and practice here, following daily routines of study, meditation, and service that connect them to an unbroken line of practice stretching back centuries. The temple grounds include gardens designed to create peaceful space amid urban surroundings. Carefully arranged rocks represent mountains. Ponds reflect sky and trees. Paths wind through vegetation, encouraging slow walking and contemplation. These gardens follow classical Chinese landscape principles that see nature as a source of spiritual insight. Each year, the temple hosts major Buddhist festivals that draw thousands of participants. Vegetarian food is prepared and shared. Ceremonies are performed according to traditional protocols. Incense fills the air. These events maintain community connections and religious practices that modernization has eroded in many parts of China. Baiyangdian Lake in Hebei Province is one of northern China's largest freshwater lakes. Though calling it a single lake oversimplifies reality. Baiyangdian is actually a complex network of shallow lakes, channels, and wetlands covering roughly 140 square miles when water levels are high. The landscape here is defined by reeds. Vast reed beds grow throughout the wetlands, creating a maze of channels and open water areas. Traditional reed-cutting boats navigate these channels. Harvested reeds bundled and used for everything from construction materials to paper production. Small islands dot the wetlands, many supporting villages that have existed here for centuries. Life in these villages centers on the water. Fishing provides protein and income. Reed harvesting offers another economic activity. Transportation happens primarily by boat, with channels serving as roads. The ecosystem supports diverse bird life, particularly during migration seasons, when thousands of waterfowl stop here to rest and feed. The shallow water and abundant vegetation provide ideal habitat for fish, which in turn supports populations of herons, egrets, and other fish-eating birds. Water levels fluctuate significantly based on rainfall and water management decisions upstream. Low water years shrink the wetlands dramatically. High water years expand them. This variability has shaped how local communities interact with the landscape. Understanding that water abundance can't be taken for granted. Environmental challenges threaten Baiyangdian. Pollution from upstream agriculture and industry affects water quality. Development pressures push against wetland boundaries. Climate change alters rainfall patterns. Balancing preservation with human needs remains an ongoing struggle. Despite these challenges, Baiyangdian retains its character as a unique wetland ecosystem in a region where such landscapes have become increasingly rare. The reed boats still navigate traditional channels. Fish still swim in shallow water. Birds still arrive each migration season. The landscape maintains its essential nature, even as pressures mount around it. Standing at the edge of these painted cliffs as sunset arrives, watching rocks ignite in waves of light that seem to breathe on their own. The divide between legend and reality becomes meaningless. Maybe dragons did carve caves. Maybe immortals do live on remote peaks. Maybe lakes really are where heaven touches earth. Or maybe the truth is simpler and stranger. Maybe the world creates things so extraordinary that human imagination can't improve on them. Maybe standing before them is enough. No explanation needed, no analysis required. Just the raw fact of their existence and your brief moment witnessing them. China conceals these wonders not out of secrecy, but because they exist beyond the reach of casual searching. They demand the silence of deep valleys, the isolation of forgotten trails, the willingness to stand alone before beauty that strips away comfortable assumptions about what nature can achieve. These are the places where heaven touched earth and left permanent marks, where time stopped following normal rules, where silence carries actual weight, where standing perfectly still becomes the only journey worth taking.